go by the name of Lady Pink, graffiti artist. I started writing graffiti at the age of 15 back in 1979, and I started because of a boy. My very first boyfriend was grabbed for writing graffiti, and I started tagging his name up for him when they shipped him away. I was all heartbroken. For about a month I cried, wrote his name around the school. But eventually I fell in love with the adventure of graffiti. There was, in New York, approximately 10,000 boys writing graffiti, and then there was just one female, me. There had been vague history of other females that wrote graffiti in the 1970s, like Barbara 62, Eva 62. There was a lot of females that ran with the crews in the 1970s, but every 5 years or so there are new generations of graffiti writers, and these women had long since disappeared and faded, and the boys were reluctant to pass on the oral history, so I knew very little about them. I went to the High School of Art and Design, where I met lots of graffiti writers from all over New York City, and some of these boys actually knew how to get into the subway yards and paint trains, and that was the ultimate goal of everyone that wanted to be a graffiti writer, was to get those subway trains. So some of these boys knew how to get into the train yards and all, and they eventually took me. It took a while for me to convince them that, just because I was a girl, that I should go, and they didn't want to take me because they figured I would endanger the mission. I would cry and scream, and I won't be able to climb and carry my own bag of paint, and all sorts of misconceptions about young women. I had to prove them wrong. I had to prove it for all my sisters that were looking up to me to succeed at painting subway trains, and I did. I managed to paint trains from about 1980 to 1985. I was down with people like Lee and Dondi, Futura, Crash and Days. All these guys took me under their wing and introduced me into the fine arts. I played one of the characters in that movie Wild Style, and that was just little more than, we knew the director, Charlie Ahern. He was one of the gang. We all hung out together. He spun his movie around the characters and events that were going on at the time. And, we were just chilling with Charlie, and there was a camera crew following us around, and we had to do a lot of repetitive, silly dialogue and scenes like that. But once we saw it in the movie theater, and we saw that it was just kind of this artsy, movie, independent film, we didn't think it was going to go anywhere. Had no idea it would become a cult movie around the world.